Hey guys, Brett Jackrel here, MotoElectricVehicles.com. We're here at the University of Minnesota Arboretum. You can't get much better than this. You got beautiful scenery in the background, snow everywhere, and it's about 30 degrees. So here they have a 11 passenger ADA shuttle. They do have the flip seat option to make it 13 passengers with one wheelchair position, but we wanted to use a shuttle that's in its element. To kind of show you guys what they do with it. Later in this video, you're going to meet Bob Thorn that will kind of give you a tour that will show you kind of what they do with their shuttle here. But this is obviously built on a 15-passenger chassis. A lot of good components that they got. They have solar panels, heaters, they got bumper guards on this thing, running boards. So we're going to get a lot of good video out of this to show you some of the stuff that we can do. So with no further ado, what I want to do is first of all show you why we're all here today, show you the ramp, show you how we load up a physically challenged person, and then we'll go from there. So let's hop right to it. All right guys, so we're standing here with Bob Thorn. He's the head auto mechanic here, and he has a lot of toys, man. You guys should see it. But one of his toys obviously is the 11-passenger ADA shuttle, and he's responsible for obviously getting a physically challenged person, if they have one, along with 11 or 13 passengers, through their 3-mile loop to see the beautiful scenery here. So what I want him to do is Bob's going to show you how to actually access the ramp and get it down. All you do is pull on the 2 latches. Our guys in the production team have done a great job doing this type of vehicle, and this is a kit for us. Folds all the way down to ground level. You can put up the ramp and pull up a wheelchair very easily. And then you'll see here inside there's Q-strength tie downs. Bob, if you want to point to them for him. And all these are actually met to ADA spec. And you guys will, not get in trouble if you guys obviously have a problem. But all the tie downs, all the seat belts, you see everything meets ADA spec. And the really cool thing is underneath that seat right there is a storage holder for it. So you guys have no problem actually getting it. Now what I want Bob to show you is the flip seat option that they got in this vehicle. This is an option. You fold right down, and there's a lot of wasted space obviously if you guys don't have a wheelchair or a physically challenged person in this unit. So you'll see right here that it basically folds down. You can add 2 passengers and then go from there. So with no further ado, I want to get a good shot of the front. We have a lot of accessories, and then we'll go ahead and show you guys it in motion. Bob's going to give us a little bit of a tour. All right guys, so as Bob pulls up the vehicle here, I want you to notice 3 accessories on the outside of the vehicle that he has. He has the bumper guards on the front and rear. That's great for if you guys have any of your drivers that might bump into things. We also have the running boards on the unit, the full length running boards, which actually are good for any handicap accessible, any client base that you might have older people. And then I also want to show the 205 watt solar panel we have wired in here. This is actually set here in Minnesota, maybe not as much as Florida, but you'll get another 6 to 8 miles out of the unit, installing that solar panel, and that's a beautiful option. So let's go ahead and let's go into the unit. I'm going to let Bob Thorn kind of show us some of the accessories they have. First of all, he has a heater. Obviously it's 30 degrees here, the snow's falling. This is a nice thing to have once you guys do have a soft vinyl enclosure that you can drop down. The whole unit will be enclosed and heated. He also got the PA system on this unit, and I'll let him show you they use it for tours. So go ahead, Bob.
Good morning everyone, and welcome to the University of Minnesota Landscape Arboretum. And it's a beautiful, not so sunny day with a little bit of snow, probably about 30 degrees. And this is our circulator that we use for a 3-mile drive. And we take passengers to show our lovely Arboretum winter and summer.
That's about it. So that's perfect. So he has the PA system. He can go ahead and do his tours. It has an on-off switch also. And the last thing I want to show you in this unit is obviously we have all the DOT certified seat belts. You also got the DVD monitor in the front. So if we zoom up here, you can see that we have a DVD monitor that will actually go ahead and flip down. And it does have a dome light that's kind of wired into it. So they'll show advertisements on there. They'll show what's going on around the facility. So that's also a good thing to have. So beautiful shuttle that we built for these guys. They've used it for a couple months now. But yeah, I mean, you can see it actually has a lot of dirt on it, but you know what? The units are durable. They have exactly what you need to get the job done, and it's a fun way to get around campus. Now it's cold here obviously now, but when it gets beautiful out here, you're going to see good flowers, and there's a lot of good scenery around this area. So with no further ado, what I want to do is have Bob take us on a little bit of a tour, let you guys see what the University of Minnesota Arboretum has to offer, and then we'll go from there.
Good morning. I'm Bob Thorn, and this is the University of Minnesota Landscape Arboretum. We're about to get on 3-mile drive, It's about 8:30 in the morning and it's snowing a little bit, but it's perfect weather for us. We're going to take a short trip around 3 Mile Drive, which is our scenic drive at the University of Minnesota Landscape Arboretum. We have sculptures, we have beautiful gardens, we have many different trees and things. The circulator that we have is to take special groups around 3 Mile Drive, and we will have drop-off points where people can get off the circulator and back on the circulator to spend more time in looking at different things. Like I say, we have the sculpture gardens and just many different gardens with trees and shrubs and everything. So we'll be taking off right now and going on our little trip.
All right, Brett Jackrel here. We're riding on the circulator here at University of Minnesota, and I'm just gonna have Bob Thorn kind of give you guys a tour, and we'll go from there. So Bob Thorn, it's all yours. Go ahead.
We're going on 3 Mile Drive, and it's a circular drive that goes all the way around and shows different spots of trees and shrubs. We have sculptures, we have a Japanese garden, all different things. In wintertime, there's things to see all year round. Not much for flowers in the middle of the winter in Minnesota, but there's just, the evergreens. We have a lot of wildlife out here. We have turkeys, deer, coyotes, fox, you name it, we've got it. There's, like over here is a shrub project that in the summertime will just be beautiful, different types of shrubs that are grown in Minnesota and can be grown in Minnesota. The trees, this is shrubs and bushes over here. We only try to cultivate and with the flowers and the shrubs and the trees are things that will grow in Minnesota in our climate. And a lot of people can go to different stores and buy stuff. They buy it, it doesn't flourish or it dies. Here we have, or you can come to the Arboretum and you can see what would look beautiful in your yard at different times of the year. Over here we have, this is the poplars, and this would be what the circulator is used for, is to take people around to look at these beautiful things. We call this our scenic part. This is the red barn. A lot of people come and paint this. It's just a beautiful scene all year round. In the summertime, it's full of flowers and everything. In the wintertime, it looks like this. We come up here to, it's called the maze, and it's bushes that they're trimmed, and it is a maze, and it's made out of bushes and stuff, and it's a lot of fun. A lot of kids, a lot of people come to see this. This will be another stop that the circulator would stop and pull off and let people out so they could go ahead and go through the maze. And this is one of the reasons that we did buy this, for smaller groups to be able to go ahead and it'll run 3 or 4 times a day. It'll drop people off. It may even run more, but it'll do a pickup and drop off of people. Here's the maze, and there's the start to the maze. We have a grass collection, ornamental grasses, and that's up here. It has a parking lot. People can go, because the circulator is small enough that it will go in the parking lot, and actually you can be able to turn around in there and drop people off if they want to. This is the oak nut trees collection.
Now, Bob, what kind of stuff do you guys have on the DVD monitor? What do you guys do with the DVD? Do you advertise? What has been the response with that accessory that you guys have?
Well, right now, I think that PR up in the building is we're either trying to get sponsors to sponsor the tram, which would help pay for the running of the tram and keep the costs lower, or we may put seasonal things on the DVD that would tell as we're driving along what's going on at the Arboretum, different events. I'm just a mechanic, so I don't know a lot about everything, but I think the public relations are trying to get sponsors, and also to be able to go ahead and put special events and different things that are coming up at the Arboretum, so people will know what's happening.
Okay, and then while we were talking, you were talking about a lot of the people that walk these trails. Yesterday, when we were kind of doing our test drives with a lot of 11 passengers in here, you're telling me that people were complaining about the emissions off of one of your gas units, maybe some of the brands like Toro and John Deere, and some of the gas vehicles you guys use. What has been the response to something that's so quiet, so electric, to the point where we were actually driving up behind people that had headphones in? They didn't even hear the vehicle. So what is your response to that? Why did you guys go electric? Tell us a little bit about why you guys made the decision to go with the circulator.
Well, we're trying to go green. We've got a few electric vehicles. We're trying to, try to eliminate the gas and, the greenhouse effect as far as, the emissions and stuff like that. The older tram we had a lot of problems with the emissions. We have a larger tram and it's pretty good, but we still get complaints about the noise and everything. That's a much bigger tram, but this one is, we were so quiet yesterday, you have to actually stop and, just about get out and tap him on his shoulder because it's so quiet. I don't want to beep the horn because I don't want to scare anybody, but also with this, when you slow down, it regenerates. We have a solar panel on top that, when it's sunny out, which it isn't today, but when it's sunny out, will help. I actually parked it yesterday outside the shop for 1 hour, and I was down to 4 bars as far as, how much running time I had left, and in that 1 hour's time, it had charged it up enough, so I was back up to only 1 bar. So I don't know if that's, common or whatever, but to charge this up, supposedly it's supposed to take, when it's down quite a bit, like 48 cents to charge this up for the next day. On our gas vehicles, you'd have to, probably not start it because you're talking, 8 to 10 gallons a day driving, and at $4 a gallon for gas, which one's cheaper?
Yeah. So when we talk about obviously gas prices, that's probably one of the main concerns that our customers have as far as, how much is this going to save the company? How much is it going to help us in this, economy that we're in right now? Obviously, one of the things when you guys get the circulator or the 15-passenger tram or any of our electric vehicles is what's the response going to be from your customers? I mean, that's not number one. Obviously, priority is number one is your customers. So what is the response, do you think, when you guys start putting this in motion here in the sunny months? We took a tour yesterday and everybody seemed like they thoroughly enjoyed it. Tell me a little bit about what you think the customers will think about.
Well, the first time we took it out and ran, the response was wonderful because of the fact it's quiet. You can sneak up to wildlife. You can even sneak up to the volunteers we have. But it's a quiet vehicle. The emissions are zero. It's very nice. The people that were on it prior, nothing but good compliments. I think as far as the people are concerned, they're really going to like this just because of the fact we can sneak up on wildlife. We can take a nice, beautiful drive around 3-mile drive. We don't bother anybody. We don't bother the birds, the bees, or anything. And we're putting zero emissions out, which I think a lot of people are looking really into the future. So this has been a real good project for us, getting this to go ahead and help us show people that we are really into, getting back to nature and doing, the greenhouse emissions and getting rid of a lot of the problems that we had with other trams.
Okay, and then one other thing, we're about to go around a windy road right here, and you guys have a lot of hills here as an independent unit, and you guys using it as a 15-passenger shuttle, or in your case, an 11-passenger ADA tram. How do you think the handling, has been for you guys? I mean, you guys use it for the perfect setting. As far as, taking passengers around a beautiful scenery like this. You'll see we're coming to some ice here that obviously he's going to drive pretty slow through. But I mean, just stuff like this. How do you think the tram has performed? I mean, this thing, this is the first time I've seen one of our trams in a snow weather climate like this, Bob. So it's an experience for me as well, and I actually am quite surprised how well it's handling your guys' terrain.
Well, because of the fact, you know, it snows periodically, you can't tell when it's going to snow. We do plow 3 Mile Drive, but we don't always get it right down to the nitty gritty. But we do sand it and stuff, but we've had no problems. Any real bad areas we would go ahead and sand, but we've had no problems. It climbs the hills just fine. We had, you know, with 8 to 11 people, it has no problems. I actually did plug it in last night, and we drove around 4 or 5 times yesterday, and we're going to drive around again today. Total of 3 Mile Drive, and I'm not even to halfway yet. So it works well. It climbs the hills just fine. The nice part is it has regenerative braking, so when you let up going down the hills, it actually puts the juice back into the batteries. So it does give you a little bit longer range because of the fact we do have a lot of hills. It really doesn't use that much more electricity going up the hills, but if you just let up a little bit on the gas and let it go ahead, and you can feel a little bit of a drag that's actually putting juice back in the batteries. So
okay, and we're obviously we're almost going to be done here with the 3 Mile test drive with the shuttle. Once again, we're on board with Bob Thorn, head mechanic at University of Minnesota Arboretum. Brett Jackrel here, sales manager for Moto Electric Vehicles. We're going to go ahead and let him finish out this test drive, and we'll do a nice shot at the end of this video to kind of show you, where the vehicle ends up. And thank Bob for taking time out of his cold day to help us out with this video. But once again, guys, we're here at University of Minnesota Arboretum. You can't get much better than this. I mean, I always tell you in all of our previous videos how beautiful it is here in Atlantic Beach, Florida, with the sun and boats going in the background. Well, I've learned, now living in Florida for quite some time, that there's a lot of beauty to the snow as well. So we'll go ahead, we'll wrap this thing up, and we'll meet with Bob here in a few minutes and kind of close out this video. All right, guys, so we gave you a great tour of the University of Minnesota Arboretum here with Bob Thorn, Brett Jackrel, Moto Electric Vehicles. I just want to thank Bob for all of his hard work this week. We came up here, we spent a few days. He showed us a lot of beautiful scenery and wildlife. And really, if you guys have a chance to come up here, even with it snowing, I can't even imagine what it'll look like when it's actually nice out with the flowers blooming and everybody walking the trails, and seeing 2 of these things actually fully loaded with 13 passengers or a physically challenged customer. So once again, we reviewed the 11-passenger ADA with the flip seat option, and we want to thank Bob Thorn. Thank you so much for all your hard work. And he does a great job here, and you'll see he has tons of Toros, and he chose Moto Electric Vehicles, so we're very appreciative of that. Thanks for having us on board as a customer, man. Thanks.